It has been a journey without a question. So, at the beginning of the year, I wasn't quite sure exactly where we were going to be at with a lot of new faces as freshmen, people that had transferred in, and people that had different roles than they did last year. So, to say I had expectations might be a bit of a stretch. I think that might be also part of the reason why we did so well is the idea that it was a fresh start for every single person in this program, and we could write our own journey the whole time. And so throughout the season, we've been tested with a lot of trials and tribulations, some injuries, some sickness, just like anyone in the country would have. But what's been really great about this journey is no one's ever been afraid to be tested. No one's ever been afraid to, give their all, and no one was ever afraid to fail. And I think that led to a lot of team successes. The idea that we could go out there and play freely, play together as a team. And what it's been really great is the idea that no one is bigger than the team, and everyone helped us have such a successful season. So we're very balanced in more ways than just on the volleyball court. So it's been a journey, but it's been a lot of fun, and we've been very excited to be in the position we are today. We had some unwritten goals in ways. I think goals are important. Setting standards is important. However, if we just said, hey, let's make the tournament, I think that doesn't do enough service to us. We talked about how we are going to win a championship, and it might look different week to week on how we're going to improve. But, one of our goals was not just to get into the conference tournament, like last year's the 8th seed, but to try and get a higher seed of the best thing we can. It's funny, I looked at some text messages at the beginning of the season, and I definitely told a lot of people that I think we can easily be top 6, which is top half of the conference, and we finished exactly that. So it's been great. We've been able to accomplish a lot of our goals, and not just making the tournament, but it's how do we now win a championship, not only for the conference tournament but going forward. I think it helps massively. The culture of Queens volleyball was there before I got there. Even in my interview process, I could tell that the team was very connected with one another. I think they were looking for a coach in leadership to help them direct it in the right avenue. They had the ideas and they had the goals and they had the people. They just didn't have the idea of how to get to what they really wanted to do. And so that was one of the first things that I knew I was going to have to accomplish, is setting clear and concise expectations in how we were going to operate and how we were going to be successful. So culture has been a huge thing. And in our program, we again talk about no one's bigger than the actual program. No one person, including the head coach, gets their name with a win total. It's all Queens volleyball. And so we all have roles on this team. And one of the big mantras that we have in this program is everyone matters. Everyone has a goal and everyone has a job that they need to execute. And your role might change throughout the match or might change throughout the season. But at the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to this program, and we go out there and try and execute. So, in the age of the transfer portal and people leaving or quitting and maybe finding a different home elsewhere, I've been very impressed that our team is stuck together through thick and thin. And, it shows by the results on the court. So I think we've won a lot of close matches. And I think that's, again, because of culture and how much we wanted and how much we're willing to push each other for that win. Mia McMillan has been a star player for us. She is often doing a lot of the dirty work in terms of recepting of serve, and she makes plays that just no one else on the court can make. So she's a high flyer. When you first see her, maybe you're a little unsuspecting of how great of a player she can be, but when she gets a hold of a ball, that ball's going down pretty straight down. And it's been cool to see how much of a leader she has been for this program. She's one of our captains, and I think she's well respected. Mia's also a tremendous teammate. Often is our teammate of the week, and I think if I could have the chance to coach more Mia McMillans, I would love to. I wish I had it for more years than just this one, but I don't think we're in the position we are today without Mia McMillan transferring to us. And the first day I saw that she was in the portal, I told my assistant, Savannah, that I don't want anyone else in this program but Mia McMillan. So I'm glad she felt the same way about us, and it's been a blessing to have her. And I think Mia just does every little thing to the best of her ability every day. Despite some of her injuries, she's been willing to give everything for this program, and I'm just very blessed to be her coach. Elizabeth Layson is one of the best freshmen I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. it's not often that your top point scorer on the season is a freshman. And Elizabeth does whatever you ask of her. She comes in every single day trying to get better, working hard. She often is asking for extra reps or how to improve. Elizabeth brings tons of energy on the court. I've told her, and the team agrees, that I guarantee you that Elizabeth Layson is in the top 5 of people's favorite teammates of all time. Doesn't matter who it might be, but Elizabeth will always get on there because she is such a good person. She's fun to be around. She's aggressive. She's athletic. And her will to win is second to none. So having Elizabeth on this roster and getting her on the court early in her freshman year has been nothing short of amazing. She had a goal of being the ASUN Freshman of the Year this season. And, while that's a lofty goal, she's done everything she can to be in that conversation. And, we are very proud that she's a Queens Royal, and it's been awesome to watch her develop from day one coming into our gym to where she is today. So very proud of Elizabeth Layson and the steps she's made to become one of the best attackers in the ASUN. Wow. What's been cool about this season is just there's been so many memories. I talk often about the first victory that we had, or for me as a head coach, having my family in the stands. That one will probably always be remembered. Megan Kelly hitting that trickle serve over the net just instantly felt like it was the coolest moment ever. But, I think this past week when we played Lipscomb, we had never taken a set off Lipscomb before and came out and just dominated that match. I think Lipscomb is a well-known brand in the volleyball world. They opened their year with some top 10 teams in the country by hosting Nebraska and playing Kentucky. So I think that was a special moment also. I have a lot of respect for Brandon and his program at Lipscomb. So, having the opportunity to compete against him and their program and their brands, I think Queens Volleyball is ready to compete at the highest level. So I think, from the first win to the last win of the regular season, there was a lot of stories in between, including multiple 5-set wins. And it's been great. It's been memorable. And, I would be remiss to not thank all of the administration, the staff, everyone that's kind of touched our program that has helped me in this program along the way. It's been really cool to see the growth from last year to this year. Yeah, I've always been pretty fiery, been very competitive. It probably comes from my mother, who would never let me win at board games or anything when I was growing up. And we just tend to, wear our emotions on our sleeves. And so I've always been very fiery, very passionate. I think it's important to show people who you truly are versus, being, someone you're not on the sidelines. So I like to live in the moment. I like to have fun. I think it's important to show people you care and who you truly are. So, hopefully no one takes it as arrogance or in the wrong way, just me being me. I think ultimately, we're in this tournament and whether someone wants to call us a dark horse or an underdog, I think that's fairly accurate. Unfortunately, we are 0-6 against the top 4 seeds. So, no matter who we were going to be matched up with, it was going to be a fight. The great news about it is it doesn't intimidate us. We're very free-flowing and thinking that we can win at every single point. So, I'm really excited. At the end of the day, we're here to play a volleyball game. We're here to compete really hard. We're here to represent Queen's University of Charlotte as the best as we can. And, I'm just super thankful that we've made the tournament and that we've put ourselves in a position where we can potentially win a conference tournament. So, we're not just showing up. We're here to compete. We're here to compete hard. It doesn't matter if Queens was picked 11th in the preseason and they finished 6th. Like, we're here to win a championship. And, I think we have the pieces and tools to do it. For a while, we weren't necessarily as healthy as we could. And now we're peaking at the right time now that we have everyone back. And, I'm sure that a lot of people weren't necessarily thrilled with the idea of they might have to play Queens volleyball. So, I'm really excited. I'm thankful to be here. I'm excited to see the future of this program. These athletes are very funny. They love to put some smiles on the faces of coaches. And with that being said, they ended up getting some temporary tattoos of my face and put it on themselves before our practice at North Florida. So, I didn't notice what was happening, and all of a sudden we're about to start practice, and I noticed one of our student athletes maybe 10, 15 feet away from me having something on their face, and I was like, what is that? I kind of turned, and I noticed it on someone's leg, and then I kind of turned, and I'm like, wait, that tattoo kind of looks like a super awesome looking dude. And then I'm like, oh, they all have my face printed on their arms or their face or their neck and all that different stuff. So it was a surprise. It was absolutely hilarious. And I'll even say this, those tattoos are really scary good because it even unlocked my phone with Face ID. So that's a little scary, but even they had, I don't know how many they printed, but they must have been like 1,000 because they had a bunch and they gave me a couple. And so now I have a temporary tattoo in my office of myself also waiting to, I guess, be put on. So maybe I'll put that on after we win the championship or something. But, it's a pleasure, and honestly, it's pretty hilarious, that these kids want to help celebrate something so special to me. So you don't often find how great of a team you have until it's like little moments like that. So it meant a lot to me. We often do meetings every month and we talk about birthdays or whatever is going on, and we like to celebrate the little things because ultimately it's not just volleyball. We're here to help the student athletes become better people and enjoy their experience here.